I went to about 10-ish events for Fashion Week this year, and I loved some of them, hated some of them. I'm gonna like walk us through it a little bit. Here was my schedule for the week. La la la. So day one, I went to the Giovanni showroom event and it was fantastic. I wore this like 60s-ish kind of vintage set that I got from Poshmark, and I layered like a lace skirt underneath it, had my hair up in the most insane way, and then held a like really sparkly purse that I stole from my mother. And then when I was walking outside freezing my butt off, I was wearing a vintage pink Valentino jacket, which was incredible as well. I've had it for years, it's phenomenal. So I went to that and I had a great time. The photographer was wonderful. There were a lot of, at the event, I could tell that they didn't like my outfit, which is like tea of Fashion Week. I feel like I know Fashion Week is something that's like, from an outside perspective, I know Fashion Week as, you know, testing the limits of fashion and trying new things and like showcasing your style. But as someone who goes to Fashion Week and is not like a big influencer or a big celebrity, people really hate what I wear. People hate what I wear. I feel like I get a lot of like side eye, a lot of judgment. Sometimes people just tell me, which is fine. And I was feeling that a lot this year because I think I really branched out with what I was wearing, which I'm really proud of myself for doing. I got everything vintage or thrifted or from my closet or from my grandparents, etc., or my parents or whatever. And I love doing that, but I think it cost me. This is the shortest ever what's in my bag for the Giovanni fashion event. I have this bag. It's my mommy's. Super cute. Okay. Now I only have the essentials in here because it's so small. I'm gonna put my wallet in here with my keys, which is on here right now. And then I have a beef stick. And I have little business cards. That's it. That's all you need. Anyway, I got a lot of judgment at this one event. It was pretty awkward. Everyone was in black, but me. It was in a navy blue 60s set that had shoulder pads. It was maybe 80s. I don't know. Point is, I looked great. Anyway, they had coffee and snacks and champagne and all these incredible dresses, which was super fun to look at them. So many of them had like these really vibrant colors, which I loved. And I met a lot of really wonderful people. Like the people that worked for Giovanni and the PR team were so kind and so fun to talk to. I went home and I changed into another set. Yes. I changed into another set. It was like a 70s set with these like tweed pants and a striped top. And I wore that to this, I don't really know what it was. It was some fashion house, like launch or something. I don't know. There's like one rack of clothes there. I didn't really look at it very much because it wasn't like the main event, but there was a mimosa bar, which I'm obsessed with now. There was a lot of food. There was cupcakes. There was these gin cocktail situation. It was really fun. I met a lot of really cool people there as well. And then something that people don't really tell you about these Fashion Week events, like sometimes you just sit there. Like you better hope you have a +1 and you better hope you have someone to go with, because sometimes you just sit there and no one talks to you. I feel like if you don't look like someone that people need to know, people will not talk to you. And that's really funny to me because a lot of these events are, at least on the smaller scale, are like networking events kind of. And it's like you should be talking to people to get to know them, but nobody wants to talk to you. And if you don't show up with like the cool girl aesthetic, forget it. I mean, it's New York, so a lot of people wear black at night. Most people wear black at night. And I was in bright blue because I am who I am and I don't want to wear black to Fashion Week. I think that's boring. And then we went to a gifting suite. I met a lot of people there. also very not nice people. It's a weird vibe, okay? There's like a lot of mean girl vibes in Fashion Week, which I don't love, but truthfully, like behind the scenes of Fashion Week, that's what it is. It's a big networking event that maybe some people really want to go to, maybe some people don't, and some people have the biggest head about it. The most large head about it. I feel very lucky to go. People like go into it and they act like they're the biggest person in the room. And you're like, calm down, like we're all here. None of us are getting into the really, really big events. Like no one's going to Dior tomorrow. I do wish that people would just enjoy themselves a little more, talk to people a little more, have a little more grace with each other, because it's not really graceful at all. Someone that I was with called me what did she say? She said, oh, you look like a cute little fairy. I don't know if it was a compliment. I'm sure it wasn't. I feel like I go to a lot of events that I really don't like during Fashion Week, or I have in the past, but I felt like today was actually really fun. I had a really good time. All the events that I went to, everyone was pretty nice, and you know, like it was like a good day. If I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I talked a lot, and I have my performance tomorrow, but like I had a very fun day. Feeling good. I love being the odd man out. I love being the only person in pink in a room full of beige. I just do. I don't mean that in like a big head way. I mean that in like, that's my truth. Anyway, so after that event, I went to a terrible event. The people that invited me weren't even there. And then I went home to my dog. You're not involved in it. You think of Fashion Week, you think of like, you know, these big shows like Dior, Louis Vuitton, like all these things. And there's also this subcategory of Fashion Week where it's like, you're not in this big category, you're in this smaller category because you can only get into the smaller category. That's where I go. And that's where a lot of people go. You can pay to get in a lot of these shows. I don't know why you would pay to get into a lot of these shows. Some of these shows are like $1,000 for a VIP seat, and I can't imagine doing that, especially if they're showing like sweatpants on the runway. Forget it. Another big thing about Fashion Week is that it feels very fake. Like everything feels very fake. I'm being kind of a hater right now. I don't mean to be. I have no idea if people that talk to me like me. I'm pretty sure they don't. On Friday, I went to a fashion show in the morning, which was running an hour late. That show, I wore like a Frankie's Bikinis little flowy cute dress with some oddly shorts underneath, and I was freezing my butt off because it was so cold. And that show, it was fine. I liked like one thing at that show. I see a lot of really inexperienced models. Not that I know anything, but I do see a lot of really inexperienced models. This one was cute though because it had kids in it. So after that, I went to sound check for the women's event, which I was performing at, which I was so excited about because I had a 20-minute set. How freaking cool. I sang 4 songs and like walked around. I literally like didn't have a stage, which was crazy. I was just walking around while people were shopping. At these events, sometimes the sound people, the DJ, whoever's running, they like don't pay attention, which is like, it's your own job. And which is really stressful because sometimes there's feedback or there's a delay, and I'm like, there's a delay, and they're like, huh? And I'm like, and there was a really bad delay, so I was having to sing what I was singing was way before the track, like where the track was, so that it would line up, and it was so stressful. After my sound check, we ran to the Alexis Bitter event. It was really fun, but it was so creepy. It was very dystopian, like where we're gonna be in a few years, or like with AI, and I don't know. It was so creepy. I was freezing my butt off outside for 35 minutes though. You can't invite me to something, say it opens at 3, and then have it be freezing outside. It was literally like 10 degrees this day, and all of us are outside like shaking, cold. And they wouldn't let us into the event, and it was so cold. And that's like my biggest complaint about Fashion Week. I don't know if it's like the same for like the bigger events and stuff, but it's always running so late. But then it looks bad if you show up late, you know? So you can't show up late, you have to be there on time, but then it's freezing outside. It's just a mess. We went back to the women's event so that I could perform my songs. Just hung out with my publicist for a little bit. And then on Sunday I was supposed to go to 3 shows, but I ended up only going to 2. The first show was running an hour late. The second show was running an hour and a half late. Then the third show, I don't even know, because I left. I left in the middle of the second one because I was like, I was supposed to be out of here by now, like this is ridiculous. I literally brought my book to read. I was dying. It drives me insane. So I left because I had tap. And then on Monday we had a House of Arches event. Went to the event and they wouldn't let us in. Like I was an invited guest and they wouldn't let us in. They said, go stand in line. And the line was around the block. Again, it's 20 degrees outside. I'm freezing my butt off. And I was like, you don't invite me to an event and then make me wait outside for an hour in the cold. I genuinely think that's unacceptable, but it's like, these people don't care. Like that's the thing. It's just so unorganized, which is really, really frustrating. Overall, my very cold takes about Fashion Week are that it's a very fake time. I meet a lot of people that I don't like, and I know it's really good to go, and I'm so happy to be invited, and I feel so grateful. But sometimes my relationship with it is a little strained because I don't like being fake, and I don't like that my worth is only measured by, how many followers I have on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. I think that's a little ridiculous. I try to be as creative as possible, and there's a lot of judgment around that, which I think is ridiculous because this is a creative space, you guys, or at least it's supposed to be. And then another thing about Fashion Week that I don't appreciate is that I don't get paid to perform. And I get paid in other performances, and I don't get paid for this, and it drives me insane because I don't understand why you're paying your DJ or your model or whoever, but you're not paying me. Like, whether it's 2 minutes of me singing or 20 minutes of me singing, you should be paying me. And the excuse for that is always, oh, it's great exposure. No, it's not. No, it's not. You don't have that many people at your show, first of all, and second of all, no one cares. No one cares. I'm not on your program. I have to announce myself, and no one's gonna look because there's no service in the building. Like, it's so difficult because I feel ridiculous about asking to get paid, but I know I'm not ridiculous. And I don't want to lose the opportunities because I'm asking to get paid, but I do deserve to be paid. Yeah. So, I don't know. That really frustrates me. And that's like, if I was Sabrina Carpenter, I would be getting paid to perform, but I'm not. And just because I'm not Sabrina Carpenter does not mean that I shouldn't be getting paid to perform. I still am presenting you my own music. This is not somebody else's music. I'm not singing covers. I'm singing my own music that I've poured everything into, that I've paid for myself, that I've done myself, and you can't even pay me to perform them. Like, oh my, I'll take $20, 2 minutes for me to sing is not that long, but then you ask me to come to sound check, and I'm at sound check, and then it's taking 4 hours out of my day, or maybe the show's late, so now I'm taking 5 hours out of my day, and I would do it for $25. I would. But you're not even giving me that, and you're taking up so much of my time, I have a very flexible job, like I have a very flexible life, so I'm very fortunate in that I can move things around to do these things, but if I was not able to do that, like, I could not perform here because I'm not getting paid, so that's really frustrating, and I wish that I was able to get paid. This is my first YouTube video that I'm really talking, so it's probably not my best. I hope I didn't come off as trying to complain the entire time, but yeah, I think that there's a weird facade about Fashion Week. Maybe less so now. There's a lot of people complaining about the influencers coming in. It's just a lot of weird vibes, and I don't enjoy it as much as I used to. My worst ever fashion, I've had some bad Fashion Week experiences, not this time, I don't go to this show anymore, but I've had people announce me and my name wrong. I've had, shows be 3 hours late before. I've had people tell me I've had sound check and then I haven't had sound check. I've had people scream at me. It's not as glamorous as everyone says it is. It's normally a lot of either really judgmental people or really stressed people or both. And that's really frustrating to walk into a creative space and you're like, hey, I'm a creative person. I spend all this time in my outfits, or I put all this time into my music, or I put all my time into this, and then no one appreciates you and they treat you like dirt. Like, that's really weird. But I guess such is life. Anyway, hopefully I don't regret this. This is my second time to record this. With that, I leave you with happy. Say bye.